Smart, smart, do. We are the children, the children of God. Come, come, come. We change our world. We have what it takes to do it smart and make it smart. Welcome to our Smart Do.
Hello, grade 4 pupils. Welcome again to today's lesson. We are still looking at the topic light energy. We said that light is a form of energy that is produced when objects burn. And we said that light travels in a straight line. So today I want us to look at transmission of light. Transmission of light is the ability of light to pass through different materials. The ability of light to pass through different materials. Transmission is the ability of light to pass through different materials, and we are going to look at light passing through various materials, so that we are going to classify these materials. We have some materials which allow light to pass through them. We have other materials which allow just small amount of light to pass through them, and we have other materials that do not allow any light to pass through them. So we have those three types of materials, and that is what we are going to do. So we have our burning candle, and we have our candle here, and we have the first type of materials. So that is a burning candle. Then we have the first type of material. This is a clear bottle. Once you look through the bottle, you are going to see the burning candle on the other side. Once you look through the bottle, you can very clearly see the candle burning on the other side. So that means that a clear bottle will allow light to pass through. Similarly, I have a glass with me. These are just a clear glass. A glass with me here. So once you put this glass here, you are able to see the candle burning on that other side. You can clearly see the candle burning on the other side. This shows that this piece of glass is going to allow light to pass through. It is a clear glass. So those are some of the materials which allow light to pass through them. We say that, and those materials which allow light to pass through them are called transparent. We say they are transparent materials. Transparent materials are materials that allow light to pass through them. Transparent materials allow light. They allow light to pass through them. Transparent materials allow light to pass through them. We say that one is a clear bottle and a glass. Then we have other materials. For example, I have a piece of paper here. A white piece of paper. So this white piece of paper is just a white piece of paper. Let me cut it into two. So once you look through this white piece of paper, we apply some cooking oil on it. This is cooking oil. So once we apply this cooking oil into this piece of paper on one side, we apply cooking oil on one side of this paper. We apply cooking oil on one side of this paper. Then we try to look the burning candle through that part that we've applied oil. So what are we going to see? Once you can see light of the candle, but you cannot see the candle. You can see some light, but you cannot see the candle on the part that we've applied oil. You can see there is some light, but you cannot see the candle. Yes, you can see light, but can you see the candle? No. Why? we say that it allows some light to pass through. You can see, but you cannot see clearly. You can see, but you cannot see clearly. Because you can see, yes, there is light burning on the other side, but you cannot see clearly what that is a candle burning. So this type of materials, we call them translucent materials. We call them translucent materials. Translucent materials, they are materials which allow some light to pass through them. They allow some light to pass through them. One, we say that it is an oiled piece of paper. For example, you've seen some of these materials, even a piece of cloth. If you take a piece of cloth and try to look, you are going to see some light, but you will not see the candle. You just see light from that through that piece of cloth. So a piece of cloth and an oiled paper, a paper that has some oil. Once you place it in candle, you are going to see some light, but you are not going to see the candle burn. You are only going to see the light. So they allow some light to pass through, but one cannot see through them. One cannot see through them clearly. Transparent materials, they allow light to pass through. They allow light to pass through, and you can see through them clearly. For example, these glasses, they are made of a transparent materials, because once I put them on, I will be able to see everything clearly because they are made of transparent materials. Then we have other materials. For example, I have a piece of wood here with me. So once I try to look through this piece of wood, will you be able to see light? Will you be able to see light coming through the wood? Can you see the burning candle? So that is a piece of wood. I also have a book with me. And as you do the experiment, take care not to burn the materials you are using. So once I place that book there, can you see light through the book? No. Can you see the candle burning on the other side? No. So we have other materials which do not allow light to pass through, and one cannot see through them. These materials are called opaque. We call them opaque materials. They are called opaque materials. Opaque materials, they do not allow light to pass through, and one cannot see through them. They do not allow any light to pass through them. So we say now we have transmission of light. I said this, the ability of light to pass through different materials. And we said we have three types of materials. We have transparent materials. These materials will allow light to pass through them. And after allowing light to pass through them, one is able to see through them clearly. One can see through them clearly. I said one is a clear plastic container and a glass. That is why in a vehicle, the windscreen is made of a transparent material. The windscreen is that screen that is in front of the vehicle where the driver is. The driver is able to see the front part of the vehicle because of the windscreen. So our windscreens are transparent material. They allow light to pass through them, and one can see through them clearly. Then we say we have translucent materials. They allow some light to pass through, but you cannot see through them clearly. Yes, they will allow some light, but you will not be able to see. Since you are only seeing the light, you cannot see the candle. You are only seeing the light, but not the candle. So they will allow some light to pass through them, and then we have opaque materials. These are materials like wood, books, and tables. Even this board, they do not allow light to pass through them, and one cannot see through them clearly. So those are the three types of materials in transmission of light. Thank you. That is what we did in the first experiment. So once this cardboard is moved aside, light will not come through the holes, because from this side it's going to pass through the first hole, but it's going to be blocked by the middle cardboard. So that experiment shows us that light travels in a straight line. I said also using the pipe. This is now your burning candle. Once you look through a very straight pipe, once your pipe is very straight, you'll be able to see the burning candle from the other side. Once you place it in a straight direction and you look from this point, you are going to see the burning candle. But once the pipe is curved, you'll not be able to see, because light will only come and reach this point here. Light from the candle will come and reach this point. It will not be able to go through the curved part. So those experiments show us that light travels in a straight line. Try to do that experiment, the two experiments, using a flexible pipe and using the cardboard. You can just improvise them. This is just a packet of yogurt I've just cut. You can see it is just a packet of yogurt. I just cut, made holes and arranged them so that I can see that light travels in a straight line. Thank you.
These two do not mix. So after some time, it will settle at the bottom. Then you empty the water and leave the teas. Look, it is settling at the bottom. That process of settling, after settling process, you empty the water. And what remains on the other side is the tea leaves, the insoluble solid. This is known as decantation. Those are known as the decantation. Thank you for listening. Have a good day.